The American bullfrog has been known to jump out of the water to catch a bat from the air. We'll talk about that and more fun American bullfrog facts while I sketch this little hopper. So let's just turn the page and get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning on is it Friday morning already? I am so happy that it's Friday morning. I can't stress how happy I am that it's Friday morning. Friday mornings at 5:30 in the morning, I like to do a little thing where I pull a toy from the toy box, a random object from the Random Object Randomogrifier, and I draw it and I talk about it. And today's random object from the Random Object Randomogrifier is a bullfrog, an American bullfrog specifically. These things are huge. They're about the length of a banana, but they're fat, big, and they are huge frogs. They're very loud frogs. They have a scream that is about 119 decibels, which is louder than a chainsaw. But they keep their heads compressed so that it doesn't blow their eardrums out when they scream. I mean, they've got some unique features compared to all of the other frogs in the world. They lay up to 20,000 eggs a season. They outbreed and outcompete just about every other animal, every other frog they encounter.
Good morning, Joe.
And they're neat. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Dad and Mom. And they're so neat. And bullfrogs, now, I may need Dad's help for this because I was really young when we were going through this. I think my dad's dad kept frogs as bait, and so we always had frogs around. And he would. This is one of the frogs he would have, and he would imitate it. It just developed a lifelong love of these things for me. I don't remember much of him. I didn't get to see him much growing up. But I do remember how he would talk about how the frogs would all go breathe. And he would make the noise, and he would bob his little bald head, and his whole face would light up with a smile when he would talk to me about it. And I would giggle, and that would make him happy when I would giggle. And so he'd do it more, and it just became a thing we always did. He always talked about frogs with me because he knew I liked when he did it.
He was a fun little guy.
He was a fun little guy. He was the one born in 1898 in a teepee on the Cherokee Indian Reservation. That's really fun for me to say. My grandfather was born in a teepee in 1898 on the Cherokee Indian Reservation in a teepee. I really enjoy telling people that story because people are like, the teepees, the Native Americans, that was hundreds of years ago. Yeah, so is my grandfather. I am a product of the late 1900s. Anyway, let's talk about our frogs. The male frogs will stake out a claim across a riverbank up to 20 feet square, and they will defend it. And if another frog gets in their domain, they'll wrestle it. They're pretty adamant that nobody gets in their domain except them. And they will eat anything that fits in their mouth. Their tongue shoots out. Their tongue has a spring-loaded tendon. When they fold it up in their mouth, it loads the tendon under tension, and they can shoot it out. And it has a sticky mucus on it that catches things. But oftentimes, the thing that catches, there's something going on. Every time I do something, it just seems like it throws the proportion way off. When he catches things if he catches things that are too big, obviously they can't do anything with it. So instead, they'll grab it with their forelegs, and shove it in their mouth. But if they can get it in their mouth, they'll eat it. And as I said, it's been documented they have jumped out of the water to catch bats. Snakes, birds, other frogs, they don't care. If it fits in their mouth, they eat it. There was a 1950s movie of a giant frog. There was of a bunch of giant frogs invading a small town. And I know the movie poster did not look scary because it just had a big frog on the cover of it. But if you knew anything about frogs, that would be terrifying. If you've ever seen frogs go after isopods, how they just snap up everything they can catch, that would be terrifying. I don't know how well the movie did. But as a horror theme, that works. I have too many pencil lines. I can tell you right now, my problem is I have too many pencil lines. And now I have to figure out which pencil lines are the right pencil lines so that I can keep the frog going the way he's supposed to go. I'm going to start with that eye because I think that's the central feature. The Random family is the family of true frogs. And they believe that they originated in the Indochina area. About 250 million years ago. And the importance of that is that predates the split of the landmass of Pangaea and Gondwana.
Good morning, Adele.
Good morning, Adele. By about 100 million years. And that means that frogs went from there to every continent. And they've always said every continent except Antarctica, because of course they've never found frogs on Antarctica, because they're not looking for frogs on Antarctica. They're not really looking for any fossils on Antarctica. It's cold there.
Good morning, Pamela.
Good morning, Pamela. But on Seymour Island, which is part of Antarctica, they found a helmeted toad, which is not really part of the Renidae family, but they found a fossil of a helmeted toad, which means that frogs did make it to Antarctica. And that is incredible to me. Every time they say every continent except, they're completely forgetting that these animals existed before there was a split.
Adele says fossils would not surprise her because Antarctica wasn't always cold.
Exactly. At the time this was happening, Antarctica was a nice, lush, tropical area at the southern tip of Africa. So yeah, it shouldn't surprise you at all. Sorry, I'm trying to decipher which one of these pencil marks I was supposed to keep and which ones I was supposed to discard. I spent too long on the pencil trying to get the lines. So now I have a lot of confusing marks here. Sometimes it makes it hard to talk. Can't talk marking. You know what I didn't pay attention to? They made the point to say true frogs. I didn't pay attention to what they meant. I know they meant members of the Renidae family, but they say the helmeted frog is not a true frog. So what kind of frog is it? And why wouldn't he have come from the same family? How many different frog families are there? I should have gone down that rabbit hole, but it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I did my live stream last night. I had a fun time last night doing water drops. I did my live stream last night, and during the live stream, a fellow artist, a fellow streamer, Create with Becca, had discovered me somehow. I didn't get to the bottom of that, but she had discovered me somehow, and during her stream last night, she did an impromptu stream, and during her stream last night, she told everybody in her chat, hey, y'all, let's all go over and say hi to the artistic biker. And her whole entire channel descended upon my channel last night just to say hi and subscribe and watch. A couple of them stayed for the remainder of the show. And then after, I know Pamela went over there. After we went back over, we followed her back over to her show, and I stayed over there for longer than I should have because it was very late at night for me. So what a fun thing. Midstream, if it wasn't one of her scheduled streams, it was an impromptu stream. But midstream, she just said, hey, I've discovered this guy. You guys need to go see him. Let's go over there and say hi. This is pretty cool. But anyway, kept me up way past my bedtime because I stayed up watching her. I don't know. I think I was there 30 minutes, maybe an hour. But I stayed up watching her instead of doing what I needed to do. And put me in here until 1 o'clock in the morning. And 4:30 comes real early, and you stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't chase my rabbit holes last night about how many frog families there are, why they come.
Your frogs are the ones that you, they make well, to a degree, their calls make up for seasonal changes. They're going to hear from the seasonal changes. They usually have smooth skin and more powerful legs and remarkable adaptability to jump.
You think they cause the seasons to change?
I don't know what they do. Anyway, and they've respected the arc of living between land and water.
So what?
I don't know.
So what makes the other frog not a true frog?
It's you rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
I think when we get another frog, we need to go down that rabbit hole.
I think I'll spend some time today going down that rabbit hole. I just couldn't do it last night. This is my favorite part of this process. I probably never told you guys how much I enjoy this part of the process. This is my favorite part of the process. This is the part to me that just gives the whole thing form. Until just this part, this is just lines on a page. But once you do this part, the whole thing just becomes alive with shape and form. I just love this part. So yeah, I didn't go down the rabbit holes last night that I normally go down. I do know that the American bullfrog is native to North America, but is also invasive in North America. Because in the prior to 1900, frog's legs was a pretty solid staple food product, and it actually still is a pretty staple food product. But these frogs, being as large as they are, produce big legs, and they breed so well and so they were caught up and distributed around America, around North America, specifically for the Frog's Legs farms. But they're also escape artists because of how many eggs they lay and how big they are and how productive they are as a species.
Rick says he's been arguing with you this morning, and he's already sent it to what's on your easel.
Oh, cool.
That's because he didn't have to talk. He's fast.
That talking will get you. That talking will slow you down. How are we doing on time? It's already 10 till. We haven't even done color yet. It's already 10 till, and I'm still working on the shading. It's alright, we're almost done with the shading.
Rick says everyone should join in from time to time.
I hope so. I love that. I absolutely love that. You don't even have to do what I'm doing. You can do anything else. But I love when you guys do join in. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I'm going to be singing that all day long. All right. Tell you what, let's do. Let's get some of them stripes in before we head out. I didn't even pencil them in. Get some of these stripes in, and then that way we can get all the hair drying done at the same time before we move to color. I don't want to deprive you of the hair drying. I know some of you are just here for the hair drying, but Ivy's not here, so the only real concern is to make sure I get to the vermilion, so Pamela gets her vermilion. Claudia's not here for the dancing. I tell you, I don't know how well you guys can see this frog. I was telling my mother before the show. My mother's the one on the overhead speaker, by the way. She helps me monitor the chat because I can't chat and paint and talk at the same time. So she's helping me monitor the chat. Anyway, I was telling her before the show, they either did a really good job of carving this frog, or some frogs sat really still while they pour the latex mold over it. This is a really nice model. Highly detailed model. Let me dry this real quick and then we can come back with some color. I'm going to take just a bit of creative license with the color.
Is this a safari?
No, this is a Toymani. And I don't know how they pronounce her name. It could be Toymani. I'm not real sure. This is a Toymani. And they make some really nice, realistic models. My only complaint about them is that they don't identify their model. Now, if you go on their website will have the name and tell you what it is. But you have to go to their website, and you have to go to a specific place on their website, and sometimes you have to scroll for a very long time to find out which which particular animal this is, because like I have a set of frogs from them, but you can't go to the frog set and find out what they are. You have to go scroll through the whole website until you find the individual frog, because that's where they identify it. And that is my only complaint about the company. They don't identify the model on the model. They put their logo and stuff. They stamp their and scrawl their logo and stuff on the model, but they don't identify the model.
Morning, Claudia.
Good morning, Claudia. We were just talking about you. Were your ears burning? We were just talking about how you were going to miss the dancing while I was hair drying.
Rick says he found an instrument that they chirp so loud.
Yeah.
Which sounds stay below 90 decibels to keep from harming the human ear. And these frogs are at 128.
Yeah.
Loud.
Yeah, they're loud. They're louder than a chainsaw, which is
180.
what when we were talking earlier, I was joking. Maybe I could farm these in the backyard and get the farm exemption. But I don't think my HOA, I don't think any of my neighbors would approve of me raising frogs in the backyard at all, because they are loud. These frogs are loud. But I would like to have some frog's legs in the backyard. That would be kind of nice. I like frog's legs. They have to. Yeah.
Claudia said, was some picture of American bullfrog in your community?
Was my picture an American bullfrog in your community? Was there a picture? I'm not sure. What picture, Claudia? Did I miss an email? I could really annoy my HO. I tell you, Rick, the way to really annoy your HOA, we talked about this before. There's a guy in, I think he's in Austin. There's a guy in Austin who put a bat house up in the green belt behind his house. He went out there and he built a bat house, and the bats moved into it before anybody discovered that he had built it. And because the bats moved into it, the HOA couldn't tear it down. And so here's this big eyesore bat house. The HOA considered it an eyesore. I thought it was beautiful. And it had, by the time it was done, it had some, several hundred to 1,000 bats living in it. And bats are a protected species in the state of Texas. And so the HOA couldn't remove it. That's how you annoy an HOA. So I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
Claudia said you posted it yesterday on YouTube.
I think I missed it. I'll have to look. Did you tag me? I must have missed that. I hate when I miss stuff like that. That's exactly the kind of stuff I would enjoy seeing. There, I think that's probably as close to the coloring as I'm going to be able to get. In the amount of time I have, because it is 6 o'clock and I still need to ink this topper.
says on your community page, but it doesn't matter.
It's my fault. I did not look. And it does matter. It's important to me. Absolutely. It absolutely does matter. All right. Let me I didn't feel like these stripes were dark enough. Watercolor has a tendency to dry lighter. I just didn't feel like those were dark enough. All right, let me dry that real quick because then we have to ink it and then I've got to go. It's late. Yeah, buddy, the last thing I have from you is a rabbit. I took the hair drying time to check. The last community post I have that I can see is the rabbit. So I'm sorry if I missed it. That worries me when I miss posts from, especially from my friends. That worries me when I miss those posts. I certainly don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. Or that it's not important, as you said. Because it's certainly important to me. Especially from my friends. I gotta slow down. I'm in panic mode now because I can feel the pressure of needing to go to work. Luckily, we've done this a few times. And so I'm not nervous about making the marks.
You should have a full house tonight.
Oh yeah, my son's supposed to come home, isn't he?
Yep.
That's awesome. My boy's been out camping for a week now.
You only seen him go straight.
I may go straight to sleep. He's not the only one. He's not the only one. What is today? Today's the 12th of June.
Buddy says it's lost.
Oh, if you still have it, please send it again. I throughout the day, we'll take Instagram breaks, which is not always a good thing for me to do at work. But you know, you work for 2 hours and you take about a 5-10 minute break. And during that break, you can flip through Instagram as long as you don't stay on your phone all day. But I've started flipping through Instagram and I'll see frogs and I'll forward frogs to my daughter, and that's kind of my secret way. I always send three frogs for I love you. I send the 3 frogs all throughout the day. We have a code. If I squeeze your hand 3 times, I love you. If I pat you on the back, I love you. If I knock on the wood as I walk by, I love you. If I send you 3 frogs, I love you. There should be a spinal line right through here that you can't really see, and there should be a fat lap right through there that you should be able to see, but it's not as thick as the other lines, and I don't want it to be as thick as the other lines. There we go. There's my frog. There's my frog compared to the photograph. Let's see it from my perspective. Right. Mosquito. There. My frog's not doing his job because there's mosquitoes flying around. There's my frog from my perspective. So that's what I did today. Tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? River. Tomorrow we have, it's another bingo ball. We all know the bingo balls mean that whatever it was too big to fit in an egg, so we had to put it on the shelf. The ball says 179. And then if I pull 179 was the frog. the frog was 179. The bingo ball I was supposed to pull today was 190. I picked up the wrong canister. And 190 is our little what is it? Is it Devil's Angel? I don't think it's Devil's Angel. It's an ammonite. It's a poisonous. This is the highly toxic mushroom. This is the one that is the deadly poisonous. One of the many deadly poisonous mushrooms that people confuse with the edible mushrooms all the time. We'll talk about that and more fun mushroom facts. My favorite thing to talk about mushrooms is how do they know? How do they find out? Can you imagine, 100,000 years ago when they're going through the woods, picking up mushrooms and trying them out. It's like, yeah, this one's pretty good. This one's got a musky flavor. This one made Bob dance to music only he could hear, and that one seems to have killed Jim. I mean, after Jim fell over dead, what made you continue to try them? So the other ones must have, the psychedelic ones is probably what drove the experiment. I don't think the musky tasting ones are the ones that made people keep coming back. I think it was the psychedelic ones that get people coming back. Anyway, we will talk about that and more fun mushroom facts tomorrow morning at 5:38 in Texas time while we sketch this little fun guy. So be sure and set your notifications off for that. And even Claudia said, "What a fun guy." I think Rick tried to say Reddit, and I think his computer corrected him to River. And you know what? His computer may not even have corrected him. My computer may have translated it. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really do look forward to this every day when I get to art with my besties. I truly do run down the stairs so I can be with you guys. Be sure and tune in tomorrow, same Artistic Factor time, Same like this, like the channel. And then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, because when they see me dancing, I will know that the lag has got up with the stream, and that will mean that I won't get cut off mid-sentence. It gives everybody a chance to say hello and goodbye to each other and ask any questions of each other if they want to. It gives you a chance to click the clicky thingies, this way if you're on the horizontal, or this way if you're on the vertical. But the most important thing is that I don't get cut off mid-sentence, because being